Upcoming meetings and other activities. This is the stuff that's sitting here. Everybody got one of these papers when you walked in. I tried to make sure if you don't have one, please ask for one and we'll give you one. It just gives you an idea of what we're going to do coming up for our group in October, November, December. On the top, contact information, and also on the bottom, there's a space if you want to be a neighborhood walker or a phone caller. We're going to talk about that in our meeting. So if you want to sign up to be a neighborhood walker or telephone caller, it's right here on the sheet of paper. You can hand it in, we'll give you another one, or you can just rip it off and just make sure we get it. It's convenient for you. Please look it over. We'll be talking about that here in just a minute. So just real briefly, we're going to have Oktoberfest. We'll be talking about that here shortly. The November 7th meeting is Speaker's David Simpson. The December 5th meeting is Mr. Alan Clark. He's a Special Forces medal-winning double amputee. This guy has a story to tell you. He'll speak on the topic of civilization jihad. Very interesting subject. If you've not been exposed to that, very interesting. Early December, we're going to have a Longview Christmas parade. Now, not all at once, but I'm looking for someone to volunteer to be George Washington on the float. On three, you can all say, I want to do it. 1, 2, 3. That's what happened last year, so it won't fit, I guarantee you that. All right. Anyway, thank you for that. We're going to be in the Christmas parade. It's a great time. We'll talk a little bit more when we get to that thing, but you can ride the float with us, or if you want some exercise, you don't get enough exercise, and by gosh, you want exercise, you can walk along the float and hand out some information and stick flags to get our name out and all that. I guarantee you, it'll get your week's aerobics in 1 hour. And thank you for Cindy for getting great speakers for our tea parties and our monthly meetings. Okay, we have 10 Texas constitutional amendments. The proposed amendments to the Texas Constitution that's coming up. The voting will take place on November 8th. Information on the amendments in Gray County early voting. Harrison County hasn't quite given the early voting information out, and we'd have that for you. The locations and everything else you need are listed on our website, and I believe we sent out an email about it. If you go to our website, it tells you about the constitutional amendments. It says in plain English what they mean, each one. Then it says pros and cons against it, written in words that you and I would sit and write down. No lawyer talk, it strictly tells you what each one is. You get the information you need to make an intelligent choice. Please vote and pass the word to everyone else to vote. Probably in the state of Texas, there'll be a maximum of 5% of the registered voters will probably vote. That's pretty low. Next one, please. Here's our big program. This is where our group is focused. Right now, this is our major only focus. Adopt a street, adopt your neighborhood, or make phone calls. On adopt a street or walk your neighborhood, it comes down to this. You volunteer to adopt one or more streets in your neighborhood, or somewhere you say, I want to walk, but I don't want to walk my neighborhood. We'll give you a good neighborhood that has a lot of voters, and you walk in and spend 5 minutes at each door, knocking on doors, talking to them about the candidates that you choose, not us. You choose who you want to walk for, what you want to walk for. If you figured out if you walk houses, you talk to 100 houses. If you get just 5 minutes per house to walk and chat, it comes out to about 8 hours, 8.5 hours to educate your neighbors in 100 houses. It's a very, very powerful thing when you knock on doors and talk to people. You hand them information. It's very, very effective. If you want to know what got Barack Obama elected, this is what did it. And some phone calls. Next one, please. Okay, we'll be walking to houses for the primary elections in March 2012. You can pick what area you want to walk. Anywhere, you just tell us where you want to go, and we'll help you out. You pick your position on the issue, you pick the candidates, you pick what you want to walk for. It's your decision. It's not ours. We'll give you copies and handouts of whatever you need for your candidate or your position. It'll either come from the candidates or something we can make up based on information we get from them. All you need to do is say, yes, I want to do it. Come to a little training in January that we're going to have. You tell us what you want to do beforehand. We will hand you the information, hand you the street maps, and all you got to do is go there and walk and knock. You have everything else. We take care of it and make it easy for you. Next one, please. The biggest impact you can have is walking and knocking on doors, by far. Cindy has sign-up sheets on the outside tables or on the bottom of that sheet that we just had. Right here. You're in church. If you feel the feeling move you, if you say, I want to do that, if you want to walk or make phone calls, just fill out the bottom and give it to us. Again, this is our biggest impact. If we want to make a change in government, local, Texas, national, this is how you do it. We'll train you in January, and again, it's easy. We have 15 people that are signed up to be neighborhood walkers right now. We want to get 50. That's our goal, at least 50. I'm shooting for 50. Phone calling. Some folks don't like walking and knocking on doors of people they don't know. Maybe it's hard for them to do that, and that's okay. The next effective way is to make phone calls. It's really easy. You sit there and call people on the telephone. You can talk to them. You can make as many or as little calls as you want. This is also can be a very effective method. And again, you pick the candidate, you pick the method you want to use, you pick who you want to make phone calls for. Next one, please. 1 to 2 minutes long. I tend to talk a little longer than that, but Cindy says that's just inherent in me, and she hasn't been able to beat that out of me yet, but she's trying. You can do up to basically 20-30 calls an hour. You can reach 200 to 300 potential voters in a 7-8 hour period. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Again, very effective use of phone calling by the Obama campaign in 2008. They were very, very effective in reaching out to voters. We will give you a phone call script that the candidates, you tell us what candidates you want, they'll give us a phone script, or if they don't give us one, we'll make one for you. They're very easy, very effective. If you can deviate from it, whatever the feeling is that you want to talk to that person on the other end of the phone about your guy or your lady when you make the phone call. But we will teach you, we'll give you training for it. It's easy, it's comfortable. You can do it from your home or from your office. You can make as many or as little calls as you want. Again, it's up to you. No cost. Do either be local calls, or sometimes the candidates have elaborate phone systems that you use with a computer. It's not that hard to do, it's very easy. I did a bunch of it last time, and it doesn't cost you anything. That's the key. So you're not putting out a bunch of money for phone calls. We'll do training in January on how to make the calls. And again, it's simple, it's easy, and it's convenient. We have, again, use the bottom of the sign-up sheets. It says, do you want to be a walker? Do you want to make phone calls? Or would you like to do some of both? We have 16 phone callers on our list right now. Again, we're shooting for 50. We'd like to have more. You can just, if you looked at the numbers, 50 phone callers, 50 walkers, each doing at least 100, 300 houses when they call or walk. It's an amazing amount of people you can reach. You can turn a local election, you can turn the national election. If the Tea Parties across America do this, there's no way that the candidates that you want will be beat. You will prevail. You want to make a difference? Again, walk or make phone calls. As the proverbial saying says, this is where the rubber meets the road. Everything else doesn't matter. This is the rubber meets the road. Something else to think about. In the American Revolution, a third of the colonists actually fought for the king. They fought for England. They fought against the American patriots. A third just didn't care. A third of the colonists said, I don't care, I don't want to be bothered with it, keep it away from me, I really don't care. A third were the patriots. We won the revolution, we won the freedoms we have today based on 1/3 of the population, which almost kind of boils down to the conservative bloc we have now. They beat the greatest standing army in the world, the greatest navy in the world, with 1/3 of the American colonists. That's what we can do. So anyone says, I'm not sure we can win the election, ask the British in 1779 who won and who lost. That's what we need to do. We had a straw poll for president and vice president last time. Remember we signed on the sheets and everybody circled who they wanted and all that? We gathered up all the votes. Here's the results. Rick Perry had 25 total votes, first place or second place. City has a better breakout that she put on the internet for you on our website. Bachmann 13, Romney had 9, Ron Paul had 8, Herman Cain had 6, and some splattering of others had about 6 or 8. That's Palin, Gingrich, and a few others. Santorum. So pretty much Perry was the winner for the people that were in here last meeting. Okay, here's the part where I talk about, helping out our group, the donations on the group. We are self-funded. For the folks that are brand new here, our group is self-funded. We don't take money from anybody as far as business, political parties, self-interest, or nothing like that. We just get little donations. That way, our loyalties and our votes are never bought. We're not in, we don't have to sit there and toe the line if somebody tells us because they gave us a lot of money. We won't take big donations. There's just no way. So we rely on donations from folks like you, and then what we don't have, we self-fund. Our expenses include Tea Party road signs, which we're going to be talking about here in just a minute. Web server and email services, monthly automatic phone call service that reminds you about the meetings that we just started and all that. Booth rentals for all events. It was $100 for the Hallsville booth, but it gets our message out. We have Tea Party and event flags that we buy, the business cards we hand out, Xerox copies, mailing costs. We're doing the YouTube video presentations. We're going to talk about that real quick. And again, as we get our message out, we're getting a little more sophisticated. It takes a little bit more to get the message out. Just remember, 100% of any donations we get go directly to the cause. We work from our house, we borrow everything is volunteer, we don't pay anybody for anything. Okay, if you can help out, there's a donation box for us in the back. There's also one for the church. They give us this facility. It's a great honor to be here, and we just like to help the church out a little bit for allowing us to use it. Next, please. YouTube. We're now high-tech. We are officially high-tech. On the website, there's a YouTube of Mike's Corner from last 2 meetings ago. We're loading more from the last meeting as we speak. We're going to post YouTube. We're going to show you one of the next meetings on how to get to it. If you can't make the meeting, you can watch it on YouTube. Very easy. If you can click a mouse on a computer, you can watch this stuff. Cindy's going to give you the links for that. We are now going to put out 4-foot by 8-foot signs, permanent road signs on the road. These are going to say something to the thing of Longview, We the People, Tea Party. So everybody knows it's by the Tea Party. It's going to say return common sense to government, join us, and then our website address. That's it. Big signs, we're going to place them out there. We have enough funds for 2. The signs were paid for by your donations. Thank you. This is where some of the money goes. Put out signs, we spread the message to get our message out. We're looking for some good high traffic locations to put them if you can find. If you have a good place, it has to be on private property. A business would be fine, but it has to have the owner's permission. We got to have it behind the telephone poles off the right of way. If you have a place to put it that's a high traffic area, please come let us know. Give us a phone call, just let us know, because we're sure looking for places. Once we get these out, we're going to look to see how effective they are and then put more out. I think they will be effective. Oktoberfest at the Reserve, Sunday, October 23rd, 2 to 5. It's really not a political thing, it's like a church social. We're going to have some food there. If you can bring some dishes and desserts and things, that's good too. It's basically a chance to sit down or mingle around at the Reserve. It was donated to us for free, so that you can go out there and just mingle like a church social. A lot of times we come to a tea party, you listen to speakers, and then we all go. This is a chance to be social, talk to folks. We're going to have our elected officials there, that we're inviting them all. We're going to have a special guest, Apostle Claver. Who remembers Apostle Claver from the last tea party? Was he worth talking to? Was he worth listening to? Cindy got him to come back. Now, I don't know how she did it, but she did. I mean, she's amazing. He's coming back. He's going to give us a little talk about his big push on Raging Elephants is walking neighborhoods, making phone calls. So he's going to talk to us about that, kind of get us a little enthusiastic about it. We'll have hot dogs and fixings provided. Again, if you can bring a side dish or dessert, that's great. Please try to make it. Way to go, Louis Gomer. This is one of my favorite things right here. Louis put he filed an American Jobs Act bill in Congress. It was 2 pages long. I gotta love that man. 2 pages. I actually saw it, I read it. It cuts corporate tax rates. It's Bill H.R. 2911. Obama's constantly saying, pass this bill now. Unfortunately, there was no bill. He had no bill in Congress. No Democrat would put it up in Congress. There was nothing to pass, nothing to look at, nothing to consider, nothing to read, nothing of anything. He's saying, pass the bill, and he's saying, where is it? There was none. Louis said, I'll fix that problem. He passed it, he took the name. There was no bill. So the name was, there was no patent on it, it wasn't used. He says, well, I'll get a bill that we can pass. He took the name, put it on the 2-page bill, put it in there, and bang, there it is. So next time Obama says, pass that bill now, that American Jobs Bill, I know what he's talking about. And I'm all for it. So, way to go, Louis. Democrats lose big time again. Again, these are just kind of rambling thoughts of mine. Democrats lost an election for the U.S. House seat of Anthony Weiner. He was a very interesting person, Mr. Weiner. And we'll leave it at that. It was in New York City in a district that had been Democrat since the 1920s, for almost 90 years. The district has 3 times as many registered Democrats as registered Republicans to vote. The Democrats didn't lose it by a squeaker, they got shellacked, they lost big. It was an anti-Obama message sent. I know, she's kneecapping me for one more minute. It was a huge message sent by people like from the Tea Party. I gotta get this going. Okay, Democrats think about as Tea Party members, they don't think much. Maxine Waters says Tea Party people can go to somewhere. Okay, Frederica Wilson says America's real enemy is not Al-Qaeda, it's the Tea Party. You're more dangerous than Al-Qaeda is. Barbara Boxer says we're hostage takers. Not Al-Qaeda, not the Iranians, we are. Andre Carson says Tea Party wants to hang the blacks from the trees. Nothing like throwing out the race card every time you gotta say something. Al Gore says you deny global warming, you're like a racist in the 60s who didn't like civil rights. A San Antonio school teacher calls a Tea Party leader during a school debate a Nazi because he can. And so much for acceptance and understanding of the wonderful Democrat Party. Did you know the Constitution requires Congress to do one thing and one thing only, pass a budget. Every year they got to pass a budget. That is their only requirement under the Constitution. They have not passed the budget in 2 years. It's almost 3 years. The Senate refuses to pass the budget because when they see the budget, the people see it, they're going to go, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. They keep cutting any kind of requests for spending cuts. Any spending cuts are denied to start. That's why you keep hearing the government's going to shut down every couple of weeks. They keep adding these things to this existing budget just to amend it and push it along. It's time to clean this mess up. Clean it by walking and making phone calls. Okay, last one, 3 cheers for Obama. I mean this. This is serious. 3 cheers for Obama. I'm cutting into your time. You know, can I get one more minute? Okay. Kathy said I can have it, honey. Okay. Tea Party's not a fan of most of Barack Obama's policies. That's unfortunately the fact. However, Obama has authorized the U.S. military to eliminate any Al-Qaeda leaders that can be found by missile strikes from unmanned drone Predator aircraft. That is his policy. He's made that decision. They recently killed 2 top Al-Qaeda leaders. They were both American citizens. Yeah, I can read their names, but their names aren't important. They're both killed from a Predator drone. They were very evil terrorists. They were not captured. They were not given a trial in New York City. They were not treated like royalty. They were sent to Allah and all the 72, whatever they are up there. They were sent to meet Allah. Now, some in American politics say this is equal to assassination of American citizens without a trial. Let that sink in. We need to, if they're an American citizen, you have to go and capture them, bring them back, put them on trial, and say, are you really a terrorist? When they've said it on their own little television that I'm going to kill as many Americans as I can. That's just the way it is. Cindy and I talked about it, and we can't speak for our group, but we support the policy of the Obama administration when they say, when these are evil terrorists, and we can locate them, they are Al-Qaeda people, they want to kill Americans, we're just going to make it where they can go meet Allah face to face. We believe in that policy. I'll let it be heard and let the people understand. Obama has it right on this policy. Okay. Last thing is a fun fact for today. This new thing in Mike's Corner, fun fact. Cindy and I had an argument about CFB bulbs. She hates them little pigtail bulbs. You know those things you buy in the store? She wants that old bulb. I ran the numbers. A 100-watt bulb here, a compact, 100-watt compact fluorescent bulb here, the comparison. One bulb saves $16 a year in overall cost. This is over about a 3-year period. $16 a year, one bulb. Average house has average of 20 bulbs. You save about $300 by putting in them little pigtail bulbs. I mean, what's this got to do with politics? It doesn't, but I can do whatever I want for my time. So I put it in there. I thought it was kind of neat, kind of fun. Cindy hates those squirrely things. She doesn't want them in the house. And I look at it and go, I got 16 bucks in my pocket at the end of the year. What can I do with that? So, and I got 20 bulbs. I got $300. I can buy her something really pretty and really flashy bling bling, and she'll think I'm a great guy, and I got it for free, because I put the squirrely bulbs in. Okay. Our guest speaker is Kathy Adams. Kathy was kind enough to give me 3 extra minutes here. Cindy, since you said it was okay, Cindy will not kneecap me when I get home. I did this once. I went 15 minutes over. I slept on the couch for 2 nights. Okay? She's meaner than she looks. Cindy will be, Kathy will be speaking on Agenda 21. It's One World Governance. She's an international issues chairman and board member for Eagle Forum, one of the most influential think tanks in Texas politics. She's been the Republican Party chairman for the state of Texas. She's listed in Campaigns and Election magazine in the August 2010 issue as one of the 50 most influential people in Texas politics. This is not just somebody we found, you know, kind of next town over that is in the Republican Party that just kind of knows some stuff. This is a very influential, powerful lady that's